What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another adventure here at the Outpost. In today's adventure, we are going to be taking a look at 10 films still left to come out for the year in 2021 that I am most looking forward to round out the rest of this year. It is got a pretty stacked fall ahead of us. There are still a lot of movies to come out, even with the pushbacks that we've had from some of them. Top Gun, Jackass getting shoved to next year. Not happy about that, especially with Top Gun, but we'll make do because there are still a lot of movies still left to come from this year. So we won't waste any time. We will dive right into the list, and we're going to start right at our number 10 pick for this fall. Blah, 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 blah. I can't speak words. It's late. You know me. I'm a late guy. We're rocking it. I'm just going to roll with it. Our number 10 most anticipated for the fall is Halloween Kills. I am a pretty big slasher fan. Halloween especially is one of the more gruesome and fun ones that I tend to enjoy watching. The remake from 2018, I believe it was, 2018, 2019, was really good. I enjoyed it. Bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis as like the PTSD woman living on her own who then gets roped back into another adventure with Michael Myers. Was a very inspired choice. It was a really fun movie. I'm looking forward to this one. The trailer is really good, but it also leaves me a little worried that the trailer might be compensating for shortcomings in the movie. Like, I could see this being a movie that has a really good trailer with a movie that can't quite hold up to it. Mostly because from what I see in that trailer where it shows like everybody like gearing up, getting weapons and shit, like I'm just expecting the movie to end with like a good old fashioned just street fight against Michael Myers. And if it doesn't, I'm going to be really disappointed. And that's the trailer's fault, man. That's the trailer's building it up for it. So if I don't get it, I'm going to be super mad. And I mean, what's making me a little cautious is that they've already announced that this was going to be a trilogy and that we're getting the last one next year. So I'm very worried that this one is going to feel like a holdover and like a placeholder, and that it won't necessarily feel like its own movie or push itself with enough momentum as its own movie. I'm a little worried about that, but I'm remaining hopeful. It still looks really good. The trailer is really badass. Let's hope that the movie can hold up to how good that trailer looks. Number 9 is actually a movie that comes out this weekend, so I don't really even have to wait that much longer for it. And it is the James Wan directed Malignant. This movie looks scary as shit. I've just recently dipped my toes back into like psychological and ghostly horror movies. This year was actually right before the third one came out was the first time I had ever actually watched the Conjuring movies. And now the first Conjuring is my favorite horror movie of all time. It was so good. I loved it. It scared the shit out of me while also just being like a really well-made movie. James Wan is particularly really good in the horror department. I saw at least the first Insidious so far, which was also a really good one. I saw Saw back when it first came out in theaters, back when I still was into my horror phase. And he's just a phenomenal director, especially when it comes to horror. So I am super excited to see what he does with this story. The trailer just looks absolutely mental and super creepy and fucked up. And it looks like it's going to be an absolute wild ride. So I am super excited to check that one out this weekend. Number 8 is actually a movie that I think is probably many people's number 1 most anticipated for the rest of the year, and that is Spider-Man No Way Home. It's not to say I'm not insanely excited. I really am. I think this is probably the most excited I've been for a superhero movie in a very, very long time. It's just I don't really like superhero movies that much, so it's still there's still so many more movies coming out that have piqued my interest more, but this is still my most anticipated superhero movie in a very, very long time. The idea that we may be seeing Tobey Maguire again as Spider-Man is very enticing to me. I am very, very excited about that possibility. It's just going to be it looks like it's going to be really freaking good. Alfred Molina is a fucking godsend, so to see him back as Doc Ock is amazing. I hope that they don't release any more trailers. I know they probably will. I'm sure they're going to put one out right before the movie comes out that's going to spoil that the other two Spider-Men are in it. But man, oh man, it would just be so amazing if they didn't release any other footage besides the trailer that they've now put out. So you're going into this with as little as possible. Like I want to be going into this movie with still the thought in my head that they might not be in it. Like we know they're going to be in it, but like you're not 100% sure. And that feeling should stay. Like keep us with that worry and dread that it might not be true the entire time until it comes out. It's definitely going to be one of the most unique movies to come out this year, and I'm super excited to see if they stick the landing with it. Number 7 is Daniel Craig's last foray into playing that debonair James Bond. I've been very hit or miss with the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. I really like Daniel Craig as James Bond, but I feel like his movies have never really hit to the upper echelon as they could have, with the exception of Skyfall and Casino Royale. Those two are legit incredible movies. Even though there's like a few plot points that I wasn't the biggest fan of in Skyfall, it's still shot amazing, and it's a very well made and fun movie still. Quantum of Solace I don't hate. I think it's all right. Spectre I wasn't the biggest fan of simply because of like them trying to shoehorn the like family twist with Christoph Waltz's character. So they're just he's half and half. But this movie I'm really hoping sticks the landing and lets him go out on a high. It looks really good. The trailers like it looks like a really awesome, fun action-adventure spy franchise movie that we've been waiting for from James Bond for a while. I feel like I've been waiting for this movie for so long now, and I like the idea that like he's retired and coming out of retirement to being brought back into the fold, into this adventure. It looks like there's going to be some amazing set pieces in it. The one in the forest where he's got the car coming at him at one point looks awesome. When he jumps off the bridge, grabbing like the cable wire, looks it looks like this movie is going to be absolutely spectacular and hopefully sends James Bond out on a high note. Number 6 is another movie that I feel like I've been waiting forever for. And the first trailer, this is another movie that had a fucking bonkersly amazing trailer that made me so excited for this movie, and that's The King's Man. This movie looks like an absolute fucking trip. It looks like it's going to be the best of the Kingsman movies. Ralph Fiennes looks spectacular in it. Yimon Hunso, Gemma Arterton, or however the hell you say her last name. It just looks like everyone's bringing their fucking A game. Rhys Ifan as Rasputin looks hilarious. Daniel Bruhl, I think, is in it also. This movie just looks so awesome. And the way that they dropped that, I don't know if it was the first trailer or the second trailer, but whichever one dropped with Black Sabbath's War Pigs in it, just fucking inspired. Whoever came up with that and mixed that together and made that work as well as it did, give that dude a fucking medal, because it is amazing. The movie just looks like pure fun, and I can't wait for it. The newest Red Band trailer was so good too. Like when it showed the scene where Ralph Fiennes and his protege are like meeting Rasputin, and Rasputin's like, I only make plans when my balls have been emptied or my belly is full. And fucking Ralph Fiennes is just like, well, thank God they're about to serve dinner. It's just so over the top silly, and I fucking love it. It's gonna be so good. Or the look Yimon Hunso gives when somebody like explains a parachute to him. It's just like little moments like that that are just gonna make that movie so much fun, and I can't wait for it. Please do not push it back anymore. It's been like 2-3 fucking years we've been waiting for this thing. Put it out. Number 5 is The Many Saints of Newark, the prequel to The Sopranos. I was a huge Sopranos fan back in the day. I remember watching it when it was on TV. It was just such a spectacular show. James Gandolfini, everybody in it was fucking amazing. So to get a continuation of this story and get to go back and see Tony Soprano's upbringing and the relationship that he had with family members and Dicky Moltisanti and all the crap that went on around there back in the, I guess it's like 70s or 80s that they're showing in there. This movie looks so great. It looks like it's going to fit in so well with the Sopranos legacy and story. It's got a great cast in it. Corey Stoll, Ray Liotta, John Bernthal, Vera Farmiga, like everyone, and all of them are going to be bringing their A game. It just looks like such a good fucking crime movie. I couldn't be more excited for this to be coming out. It's a few weeks too, so I'm gonna have to start brushing up on my Sopranos again because it's been a while since I watched it. Definitely want to go in remembering as much as I can to really enjoy those pieces of prequelness where they're gonna give you the subtle little nods to what came in the Sopranos, and you can be like, I remember that. Number 4 sees our favorite Boston Bros returning to write another masterpiece, hopefully, and that is The Last Duel, written by our boys Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, directed by Ridley Scott. That's all. Do you need to know anything else? Oh yeah, Adam Driver's in it and Jodie Comer. All right, sign me up. I don't need to know a fucking other thing about this movie. But it does help that the trailer looks amazing. It looks like a wildly intense and dark story. I love historical fiction. I love sword and sandal movies, like old school Roman, European, 14th century style stories. Always just hit home for me. So I am super excited to watch this movie, and it looks like it's going to get dark, it's going to get violent, it's going to get ugly, and I would expect nothing else from the master of Ridley Scott than to make this movie as larger than life as it can possibly be. I mean, the dude made fucking Kingdom of Heaven, man. He's going to crush this. I am so excited for this movie. Number 3 sees Lady Gaga stretching her acting. Wait, hold on, we're going to sneeze. Woo. Number 3 sees Lady Gaga stretching those acting chops again in another movie directed by Ridley Scott. The man's dropping 2 gems this year, and this is House of Gucci. This movie looks really good. I knew nothing about this story other than the fact that Gucci was a fashion guy. I had no idea that he was brutally murdered by a hitman from his ex-wife. I didn't know anything about any of that. So to see that this another crazy, great crime story is coming to us this year. We got Adam Driver again. It looks like it's going to be a fantastically good crime historical thriller movie. Lady Gaga looks phenomenal in it too. She's quickly becoming a very fine actress. From A Star Is Born and now to this, when it shows the part where they're like, "Can you keep a secret?" and she's just like, "Father, Son, and House of Gucci." It's she's got it. She's got that star power down. This movie is going to be really, really fucking good. I hope so. You never know, but it looks really good. Ridley Scott's got a good track record. Number 2 sees my boy Edgar Wright returning to the fold since Baby Driver with a psychological horror movie, Last Night in Soho. Edgar Wright is one of my favorite writer-directors. Every time he puts something out, it is just phenomenally good. The man just gets what I like, from Baby Driver to Shaun of the Dead to World's End to Hot Fuzz. To Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. He is such a uniquely gifted writer-director, being able to do any genre, any story, and put his authentic, unique voice on it. And I would expect nothing less from this movie. It looks like it's going to be a wild fucking ride. Anna Taylor-Joy and the girl from Jojo Rabbit and Old, I don't know what her name is. Thomason something, I think, or whatever. I don't know, but they both look like they're going to be really freaking good in it. And again, it just looks like it's shot so well and just made, the colors just pop in it. It's going to be just, I am expecting another masterpiece from this man. I fucking loved Baby Driver, and I'm expecting this hopefully to be on par with Baby Driver or top it to be my new favorite Edgar Wright movie. But there can only be one most anticipated movie, one movie that you have been waiting for above all others to come out, the one thing that just got you salivating. And for me, that movie is Denis Villeneuve's Dune. From the second this movie was announced, as all the cast members started rolling in, to the first footage, to the trailer, I have been on the edge of my seat waiting for this movie. I love the book. The book is so freaking good. I even enjoyed the David Lynch movie. Like I enjoy it. I just like this world. But fuck, man, Denis Villeneuve is gonna bring such fucking powerhouse to this, man. Like after Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival and Prisoners and every other freaking amazing movie that this man has done, has been building to this. This is this dude's bread and butter. Like, he can do explosive science fiction better than anybody in the game right now. And I am so fucking excited to see what he does with this movie. I need everyone to go see it. You all need to go see it so that we get the second half of the movie. We get part 2. Because it's only telling about the first half of the story, I believe. He's cutting it into 2 parts because the book is just so vast that you need more than one movie to tell this full story for it to get its due. So we need you all to go see it. You need to do your part. You got to get back to the theater, man. It's worth it. I'm telling you, this movie is going to be worth it. This is a movie that theater experiences were built for. The sound design, the visuals, the acting, everything is going to be just a cornucopia together that's just going to mesh beautifully for you and just have you fucking wetting your pants with bliss. It's going to be that good. I wouldn't steer you wrong. And that's my list, the 10 movies that I am most excited for the rest of the year. It is strictly theatrical movies. I did not add any movies that were coming out on streaming. I'll probably do a separate video for streaming movies that I'm most excited for the rest of this year. But I tend to wanted to keep them separate because what gets me most excited is what I get to go to the theater for. As much as there are good movies that come out on streaming, it will just never compare to being in the theater and seeing a movie in the theater. It's just such a unique, wonderful experience that I love again and again and again and again, and nothing will beat it. So we stuck with the 10 movies that you should get your ass out to the movie theaters to watch. Absolutely, get out there and do it. You gotta do it. There's so many good ones. This weekend, go check out Malignant. I know you all like horror movies. And just go watch it. Go get scared in the theater again with people. It'll be okay. I promise you. Go see it. But that'll do it for us here at The Outpost. Let me know down below what movies you are most excited for the rest of the year. I'm sure there's some of you Matrix fans out there. I've noticed, I'm sure some of you saw The Eternals didn't get onto here. Encanto. There is so much movies coming out that there is something out there for everybody, and I want to hear down below from you guys what it is that excites you most for the rest of the year. But that will do it for us here at The Outpost. I have been TJ, you have been you, and until next time, adventure on.